Hola, presidente.
Hola, señor de Madrid. How are
Nick,
you?
long time no see. Where have you been?
In hiding because I'm president. I'm avoiding everybody. no, no,
Yeah,
just been.
you've had a few issues.
Yeah, I'll talk about those soon.
So
Yes.
what's been going on?
Yeah, quite a few things. I mean, obviously, yeah, time has passed. I think April was the last time we had a chat.
I'll just put it out there. I've got you back on. Obviously, we chat every now and again via phone, Nick. But viewer request that there's been whenever the viewer requests in the comment section, where's Nick? Where's Nick? And people are curious to find out about your experiences as the Presidente de la Comunidad, which we'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
But let's just fill in the summer details for you. You stayed down there in Mijas.
Yes, I'm still here, loving it. The summer was fantastic. What's been very interesting, I don't know if you remember when I first moved in here, which we're getting on, it's almost a year now. And I don't know if you remember, I did comment on how cold it was inside here.
Yeah.
And I did say to myself, I'll probably be a very happy person during the summer. And so it proved, because the sun was hitting my terrace sort of mid-afternoon, which from a working perspective was great because I'd worked through the whole day without feeling the heat, and I've got the aircon as well. Oh, it's really, really nice. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I made a great choice. And I've had my family out here a couple of times.
Yeah, you mentioned that on the phone. So it was a hot summer.
Yes, although, again, because of where I am and how I'm living, I didn't feel the heat in the same way that I did when I was in Torreblanca.
Okay, so you didn't feel the heat from the sun, but you felt the heat from a few vecinos, right?
Yes, yeah, we'll come to that. Just going back to one of the previous videos that we've done, do you remember when and people seem to like the conversation when we talked about wine here in Spain?
Oh, yeah.
And I think you actually posted a photo in one of the videos of my favorite wine, which is called Izadi.
Yeah, I think you went on about this wine in particular, right?
Yeah.
Rioja, is it?
Yes, it's a Rioja, and it's a Crianza.
Crianza,
really, really
and
nice.
$8.50 a bottle.
Correct. Well, actually, in this merchants close to me, it's now $8.20 a bottle.
It's gone down.
Yeah, it's €2 less than Supercore. It's incredible.
Yeah, well, now, Supercore is always a bit of a rip.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Now, people question, does Nick have good taste? So, if you remember with my traveling, I'm at that top tier status with Iberia, which allows me, if I'm flying out of Heathrow or Gatwick, I can go into the British Airways first class lounges. And on my trip back in July, in the first class lounges, out of the 3 red wines that are on offer, Izadi Reserva.
Wow.
And I thought,
so a step up for you.
Well, a step up. Obviously, it's more expensive, but the point is, it's kind of acknowledgement, if you like, that I do. Obviously, I know what I'm talking about. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So,
well,
quite nice.
I find with wine, Nick, if you're not obviously a wine expert, which I don't pretend to be, and I'm sure you don't pretend to be either, that it's all about what you like, right?
Yeah.
So a wine that you like might not be a wine that somebody else likes.
Correct.
A wine that I like might not be a wine that somebody else likes. But I think once you hit that price point where you found a wine that's always good, doesn't matter whether you buy it in December or whether you buy it 2 years later, you get the same quality, right? Because that's what these brands go for. They go for a type of consistent quality for the same price, and that's why people like yourself come back to them all the time.
Yeah,
right?
and Izadi is very consistent, and the price I think is really, really good. I think it's the best value for money wine that there is here in Spain, in my opinion. I have tried a lot. I mean, you've got all the usual Marques de Riscal and those kinds of things, but the prices are much higher.
Yeah, but again, those are wines that, for the quality aspect, are the same. So rarely would you get a bad bottle of those brand wines.
Correct.
Now, I know there's going to be people in the comment section say, "Oh, no, you can get a good wine in Spain for $2.50. You can get a good wine for $3." In my experience, I've never got a good wine for that price unless I've gone directly to the bodega and they said, look, we've got this one here, blah, 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 and it's, €3 a bottle, or it's one of what they call the clean skin, right, that doesn't have any branding on it. Somebody's picked them up on their trip to La Rioja or to the Ribera del Duero area, and they've come back and said, here's a good bottle of wine for £3 for €3.
When my family were here,
so
they love the red wine as well, but they're happy to drink the cheap stuff. So one of them was having a Tinto Verano.
Let's just put this in. So your family, when you say your family, your mum?
Yeah, so my mum came for the first time, but also my sister and her friend. So there was one trip in September. They were all here at the same time. Okay. And I was reduced to sleeping on the sofa for nearly 2 weeks. But that's fine. But my sister's friend, her name is Jude, she Tinto Verano. And I said to her, if you go anywhere near that Ithadi and start putting Coca-Cola in with it,
no. Coca-Cola is not Tinto de Verano. Coca-Cola is Calimocho. You have to put Casera in to get a Tinto de Verano.
Oh, okay. So I've got it the wrong way around, of course. Yeah. Well, there you go. I just think it's sacrilege to put anything in with wine. They were drinking this cheap stuff. Oh, Al Policelli or something like stupid name, like €2.50 a bottle. I tried it and I just thought, how can you drink this stuff? So, okay, you're lucky you've been to a bodega. I haven't. So to back up your thoughts, I have no experience of drinking any wine that's decent for €2.5, €3. It's never happened for me anyway.
Again, as I said a couple of minutes ago, people have different tastes. Yeah. People have different requirements when it comes to wine. Of course, every wine is different. It's not like your standard gin, which, your bottle of Bombay is always going to taste the same. But a bottle of wine, you're right. So, but what I was trying to say before was that when you go for that bottle of the Ithade, or whether you go for another one called Azpilicueta, I think is the name, or whether you go for a more common brand, Marqués de Cáceres, more or less you know that for that €7, €8, €9, the wine is always going to be that standard, that you're going to be able to open it, drink it, and the people that you're drinking with are going to say, buen vino.
Yeah. Well, right. It's not going to have, there's going to be no sense of a vinegar taste in there.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Which you can get, obviously, with some of the cheaper wines, especially if they've been sitting on your shelf for ages. Yeah. So,
I don't know whether we told this story on the channel or not, but when you came to Madrid once, we caught up, we had a meal, right? Did we tell this story or not?
I don't think we did. I'm not sure.
Well,
I think you might have just mentioned that we met. I don't think we said much about it. I can't remember, but go ahead anyway. Yeah.
When was it that you came to Madrid? In May, was it?
I was in May and March. So one of those.
Might have been March. I can't remember. But we did have an experience where we went to a restaurant and the guy tried to sell us. I think because we were two foreigners.
Of course, that's right.
The most expensive bottle on the wine list, right?
Yeah. What do these guys know? They're just extranjeros.
That's it. That's it. And I think the price was over €30, which we didn't fall for. I think we got stuck at 25. But he did try to lead us down that path, which I'm sure many a giddy or a foreigner has fallen into that trap in Spain before. Right?
Of course, yeah.
That's it. But anyway.
Speaking of money, I think you have mentioned this in one of your update videos, the big thing that's affecting me coming up for this year.
The pound.
No, well, that's affected me anyway, right?
Okay.
Especially with my trips. When I go, not with my trips, with my income. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually losing €250 a month at the moment compared to what I was getting around about 3 months ago. The hit because the pound has taken. A combination of the. Go on.
Your salary's in pounds, right?
Yeah. So I obviously as everybody knows on your channel, I'm fully autonomo. I do everything goes through the Spanish system, but I'm invoicing the company in the UK, who then send a transfer straight into my Spanish bank account. So the exchange rate really has an immediate effect on me, and I'm losing income, if you like, through no fault of my own. But look, I when I got the contract 5 years ago, I had the choice. either get paid a set amount in euros or get paid the set amount in sterling. I chose the sterling route.
Well,
that was my choice.
Yeah.
Because I was gambling on the exchange rate going up once the effects of Brexit had settled. Right? And that actually was the case. It was up to 1.2 back in May or something like that.
Well, I remember you telling me that you were happy that you were getting that extra.
Yeah, this is gone,
which was quickly wiped out with the latest change in leadership in the United Kingdom.
And now, of course, our wonderful Prime Minister here, Mr. Sanchez, has come up with this wonderful new scheme kicking off in January, where the autonomous social security rates are going up.
Yep.
And the effect on me is massive. So like you, I think I've been paying sort of the 316 whatever
the minimum, right?
The minimum for the last 3 years. Once I've got over the startup period.
Yeah.
Stuart, my rate is going to be well into 500 as of January.
Because it's going to be based on income.
I know, but to get hammered that much, there's two saving graces, if you want to call it that. When I first read about it, which I think was 2-3 months ago, they were trying to say at that point that you'll have to pay these higher rates, and this will be separate from your income tax. In other words, they were trying to say, that your income tax would be deducted first and then the Social Security. And I thought, well, no, that can't be. That's bad, because actually that would mean that the tax is going up and your Social Security is going up. Now, I met with my accountant last week, and she at least has confirmed that the Social Security will continue as being a part of your expenses in the way it always has done. Okay, fine. And then another piece of, if you like, some reasonably good news. You've probably seen it yourself. There's different regions in the country, autonomous communities, sort of applying their own rates for the IRPF, which of course is the tax that we pay on the renters.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we'll just put this into a context. So the main IRPF, which is your income tax in Spain, it's a central government thing with a very small percentage, which is in the hands of the autonomous communities. Correct. And that's what that's what they're moving. So we're not talking about huge amounts of money. No. We're only talking about a small percentage.
No, it is a small percent, but at least it's something. At least it'll help to offset the Social Security increase. So I believe Andalucía are going to be reducing their rates by 2.7%. So it's not massive, but something. Yeah. It's not much of an incentive if you want to go into business, is it? Let's face it.
Well, there's no incentive at all. There's never been an incentive.
I mean, for me, it's going to be it's going to be probably at the end somewhere in the region of 36% in total. I'm going to be losing, which is a huge amount. I mean, what would they? I wouldn't mind, but if something went wrong with my contract, I'd be stuffed, because of course the Social Security we pay as autonomous is really only contributing to two things: the health system and the pension. It's not like in other countries where if something goes wrong and you become like unemployed, you can then get some help. No, we get no help. I think it's terrible, Stuart. But look, before some of your viewers, they know what they're like. Some of them, they steam in and say, well, if you don't like it, go back home. No, I love my life in Spain, and I accept the bad along with the good.
Was that a Yorkshire accent that you just put on?
An attempt, yes. Well, I did used to live there, just south of Doncaster, in the latter half of my childhood. Yeah, so those are really the only sort of the only other thing I can say about the time that's gone by is this was a little bit interesting. My trip to the UK, so I now, since COVID, only go once every 2 months. Now, something happened in July, and I've read something about this since then, and it makes sense. When I came back from my trip in July, I thought I had COVID because I felt ill. Huge. I was literally keeled over for almost a week. I was knocked out. I was gone. But I did the tests and they were all negative. So obviously I'd picked up some kind of flu virus, bug, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Plenty around.
Yes. And what I've read since then is, and this does make sense, is that, we were all isolated for so long during COVID. And then even after the worst of the pandemic, it's not as if we've all gone out traveling. The traveling has only just kicked in really this year. And our immune systems are not used to whatever's out there. True. So any flu virus that's out there now, so in the UK especially, they're expecting a very bad winter with flu because we've all been
here too.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen. So I hope I've had my little bout of it, and I'm now nicely protected.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, well, you haven't had a flu shot?
No, I was thinking of. I'm thinking of going to get one.
Okay.
I've got to go and visit the health centre anyway that I've registered with now in Micas, because they still made a mistake with my COVID certificate. I've had my first 2 shots were quite close together, like only a month separating them. At the time I got the first certificate, it was correct. Two doses out of 2. The third one I had about 6 months later, and the certificate still said 2 of 2. And yet the paperwork has actually got all 3. And they tried to say at the health centre that it was an IT problem. So
you don't need that to travel now to the UK.
Yeah. Well, no, it's more for some countries you've got to prove you've had the booster.
Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely some countries you need that for. So I hope to get that sorted.
Yeah.
So that's it. And then of course, the other big thing is what happened in April at the annual general meeting of the community. Yeah.
All right, good. So we'll put this into a context for people that maybe don't know the background here, Nick. You were elected president of your neighbourhood association there in your where you live. There's how many apartments?
Yeah, so it's 37 owners.
37.
Yeah,
okay.
And so at the annual general meeting, what actually happened was there's a bit of history between people. People can look back at your videos. We talked about the great fire in the basement last year.
2 brothers, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had an argument, and one of them decided to torch the other's motorbike, setting fire to the whole basement parking area, which has all been sorted now. But
you weren't the president when that happened.
No. So when they had the annual general meeting in April, that combined with history, if you like, and cultural differences between people. I'm just sitting there minding my own business in this AGM, and it's all kicking off. You've got the Argentinians and the Spanish having a go at each other. There was a German joining in. You've got a couple of Brits lending their voice. I mean, it was all kicking off between different people, and it became quite verbally brutal.
But what are the issues with the complex? I mean, is it a maintenance thing? Is it a
Look, there were a
swimming pool issue.
I'll get to the swimming pool in a minute because I had an argument with somebody. But just to finish off the AGM, so all this history of stuff. I stood up because I just thought this is ridiculous. There's only 37 owners, right? It's like World War III going on in this place. So I stood up and I started to take control of them. I said, look, just calm down. You wait your turn. La 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 la. And they all seemed to like that. Oh. So when this was on the agenda, election of new president, they all just went him. And I'm sitting there thinking, what have I let myself in for? Yes. So yes, I became El Presidente de la Comunidad on that fateful day. So since then, I've had 2 threats of denuncias.
Okay.
And one threat of physical violence. One guy was ready to
break your neck.
Yeah, break my neck at his front door. Okay. Let me tell all your listeners: do not become president unless you're ready for problems.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the swimming pools. So in the first couple of months, I was just trying to get a feel for what are the issues here. We've got a big project to do with the ground. There's a large sort of terrace area above where the parking was that needs to be sorted out. Okay, soil removed, and we need to get either grass there, artificial grass, or pavement area sorted. Plus, there's some sort of communal terraces which are directly in front of some apartments. That's another project.
Yeah.
Various other things. So people have been complaining, for example, about handrails on the staircases. So I'll come to that in a minute. So once I've got a feel for what's going on, we then arrive at the summer. Now, first thing that happens is
all of these people come in that don't live there.
Well, yes, in particular, a big family from Madrid who seem to own the biggest apartment on the ground floor with a sort of a private garden to go with it.
Okay.
And they have that attitude, Stuart, of we are the king and queen of Los Naranjos.
Well, they're from Madrid.
Well, I don't care if they're from Timbuktu, right? It's literally. Now, that's important because when I say I don't care, I've made it, if you like, a prerequisite in my head that I don't care where people are from, how well they speak Spanish or English, or what their position in life is.
In your eyes, everyone's equal.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter whether you drive in a big Porsche Cayenne or whether you drive in a little Fiat 500, everyone's on the same page.
Exactly. And I've made it quite clear that that's how I'm going to treat everybody. So what happened was this family from Madrid, first of all, the queen, if you like, she kicks off complaining about various things on the WhatsApp group to begin with. And then
there's a WhatsApp group as well.
Yeah, well, that's going to be ditched now. And my big advice to everybody out there, if you're in a community and you've got a WhatsApp group, get rid of it, because they just use it as a platform for slanging matches. It's terrible.
Yeah, when they've had a few G&Ts,
they steam in. So this lady, she's having a go at me about the swimming pool and problems with the water. You got the usual, you got the machines that keep the water recycled and pump the chlorine in. Okay, so we've got two different machines that do that. And there were problems with them. And she's complaining, this needs to get sorted. Look at the state of the water. La 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 la. I'll do a denuncio on you if this. And I just said to her immediately, look, hang on. You can't intimidate me. Don't.
Okay, let's just stop there. So the word denunciar has different meanings.
Yep.
But one is that you can be reported to the police.
Yes.
But here, who are they going to? The local council, I suppose, right?
No, they can go. They've done it. People have done it here. There's been 6 denuncias done with the local police.
Really?
The police have come out here previously to other presidents. They're thoroughly bored with it, obviously, right? The police have got better things to do than because what happens.
So they're reporting you to the local police.
Yes, yeah. So and then the problem is, as president, is I bear the responsibility. So if a denuncio is being made against the community, effectively it's coming to me first. Now, okay, that in the end, that's not happened. And I certainly hope it's not going to happen because I've seem to have calmed everybody down now.
Which was the reason you were elected president in the first place.
Certainly one of the reasons. Yeah, I think there's what's working out good with me being president is this. One, I'm here all the time. Apart from my trips to the UK, I'm here. Okay, and I work here. So
full-time resident.
Yes, full-time resident, and I work at home. So it's very easy, obviously, to meet with local suppliers, etc., which I have done. Okay. Secondly, I speak both English and Spanish, which again, when dealing with suppliers or residents or whatever, makes life a lot easier. Okay. And 3, I'm not an idiot. I'll say that because, again, there's a tendency of some people who think they know things. So there are some people here, for example, who understand the law. Now, you have a special law here in Spain for when you have these types of communities. In English, we actually call it the Spanish Common Hold Law. But the official name in Spanish is La Ley de Propiedad Horizontal. That's the special set of laws.
Horizontal property law.
Correct. Yeah, that's a special set of laws for communities such as this one, okay? One lady here who has been a lawyer in her life, okay, was attempting to hoodwink me. She again threatened the denuncia, by the way. She obviously thought, well, this guy's English. He's not going to have a clue about horizontal law. Of course, little does she know. Again, I'm not an idiot. I can go online, do my research. get the forms, speak to other lawyers just to confirm certain things where loopholes might be. And I literally, literally threw all this back at her. So she got the message, don't mess about with Nick, because he's going to find exactly, and understand what's going on. Yeah. The horizontal law is quite an interesting one, because for the project I've got with the terraces coming up, there's this business of, there are certain things that if you're going to make changes that are permanent changes to aspects of the community, okay, what I mean by that is physical changes to the construction, for example, then those physical changes have got to be enacted via a unanimous vote at an AGM, okay? There's an issue here with these terraces. I've come up with a plan where we're going to enact some temporary changes, okay, which therefore can be done with a simple majority vote.
Okay.
Because the changes I've got in mind will have a fixed end date. Granted, they can be renewed. Okay, it's all about can people use these terraces as part of their property, if you like, and put some chairs and tables and all that sort of thing on. Okay. So yeah, again, it's just about understanding the horizontal law to make sure that you don't get caught out. And I seem to have managed that now, and it's working out well. The physical threat was just ridiculous.
How did that come about?
Yeah, so after the fire, it took quite a few months to get the basement there sorted out. Okay, we're in October. I think it was something like middle of July when the final painting was finished after the reconstruction. Okay, needless to say, the place is dirty, as in the floor and everything from left over from all the work, etc. And anyway, one guy decided to have a go about this, but he wasn't clear about what was going on. Plus, with the community cleaners, so something was amiss somewhere, right? And he was complaining about stuff on the WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group back again.
Yeah. So I thought, well, let me go and see him and find out what's going on. So I went upstairs because he happens to live sort of above me and to the right. And he opens the door and he's like this, come on. What the hell? I said, what do you want? You come to see me? Don't you try and, do something? And he was ready to rock and roll. And I just thought, no, this is not good. I just said to him, I tell you what, let's talk when, another time.
When he's calmed down.
Yeah. And as it turned out, I'd already organized for the basement to get cleaned the following week. And it looks really, really good. Mm-hmm. So I have no idea what the guy's problem was at that point, but I've since heard, by the way, from a few other people, he actually threatened to kill somebody once for just because the person accidentally dropped a bit of water on them as they were walking through the front entrance. Okay, I'm going to kill you for that. The guy's a lunatic. He works in a health center, being the security officer, and a lot of people have had problems with him there. So, but here's the best bit. He's not even an owner.
Oh, he's not. He's just a renter.
I found out 2 weeks later he's just renting, long-term renter. So I thought to myself, well, I don't have to worry about keeping the peace so much with him. I just won't talk to him. Why should I? Right? I'll happily to the owner.
I suppose, but if he pays the comunidad, being the person that's renting the house, then he must have a say, right, or not?
No. No, only the owners have a say. The owner, for purposes of voting at either AGMs or EGMs, an owner can elect somebody as a proxy vote. Yes. Okay. But just because somebody may or may not be paying the community fees as a renter doesn't mean they have automatic right to vote. No. So,
well, I asked the question because he's got the right to use the pool. He's got rights to use the common spaces, right, as the person who's legally living in that house. To park his car in the garage. So maybe I thought that he would have the right to express his opinion.
No, he can only have he can express an opinion. Yes. So I have no problem with people coming and knocking on my door, which sometimes they do, by the way. In the middle, my electricity is not working. Okay. Everybody else's is. What would you like me to do about it? 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's got nothing to do with you, that though.
No, but Yeah, but Stuart, some people, their mentality is something's gone wrong. Let me go and speak to the president. They don't think.
So how long's your term for?
Yeah, well, it's for 1 year.
Okay.
Whether I decide to continue with it or not, we shall see. Again, everything's calmed down. The dust has settled. The lady who was threatening me with denuncia about the law, I've just made her extremely happy because we finally installed handrails in her block. Okay, I've done it deliberate, method to my madness. She's absolutely over the moon. She's been waiting for these handrails, she said, for over 9 years.
Wow.
So in her mind,
you're the king.
I'm the new president who's finally got the job done.
There we go.
Right. So I'm not expecting any issues from her when I come to do the EGM for the terraces issue. Yeah. So yeah, things are looking much better. But it does take a lot of work. And I know that some presidentes get some kind of financial kickback, whether it's a reduction in their community fees, whatever it might be. My environment here, my situation, I get nothing. So it really is, it's a lot of work for very little reward. But my attitude is, well, look, I've only lived here for 10 months. I moved in the beginning of December last year, as you know. I'm going to be here for quite some time. I'd like to feel that I'm living in a place where the atmosphere is good and the place is being looked after. Now, if that means that I need to continue being the president for a while, then maybe. So, yeah, come on. You must call me El Presidente for the next 2-3 years of your stay.
Well, you might even change the constitution, Nick, and end up president for life like they've done in some other countries around the world, right?
Yeah, there's a limit.
Well, once you're in, difficult to get you out. That's probably, right. Then you're not a president anymore. You're a dictator. That's it.
Oh, yeah. That's yes. Well, we know of some presidents who have in this world who've become dictators. That's for sure.
That's it.
But let's not go down that track. It's not a day for that discussion.
No, we won't. We won't go down any political track today.
No.
All right, we'll have to wrap it up anyway, Nick. I got to head off. But,
I know time flies again, doesn't it? 36 minutes already. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, time flies. That's it. When we learn these stories, but we won't leave it as long. I don't think. No. This time around. Okay, the summer got in the way, and obviously your death threats and lawsuits and all of those things got in the way as well.
Nothing ever goes easy with me, does it?
No, you seem to attract. I won't use the word trouble, but you seem to attract unwanted attention, Nick. Sometimes that's it. All right, Nick, we got to wrap it up, but we'll be in contact and we'll get an update. Okay.
All right then.
All right. Have a good one, Nick. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.